Are you still alive? Here? Here? Or here too? The extraordinary machines. The artificial warriors with combat capabilities beyond imagination. They emerge as an emblem of technological advancement for the great dream of a new world, where the power of knowledge can dominate species. But will the world come to a close? Will prosper? Or just mere wreckage? Where people are using intelligent machines and the ability to constantly learn to hunt each other on the political chessboard. When artificial intelligence now possess the ability to make their own decisions, attack any target. It doesn't require any human intervention at all. It's not just a military revolution anymore. It's a moral and a human challenge. AI weapons are slowly becoming a kind of far-reaching force. It's not just about the war, but also peaceful life across the planet. And then where does the human responsibility go in terms of creating and controlling these intelligent but heart-lacking fighting machines? Just a few years ago, surely we are no stranger to the emergence of an application called GPT Chat. It's created earthquakes all over the globe. This application is seen as a breakthrough in the development of artificial intelligence. It's led experts to predict that the future is here. The world can continue to welcome systems that carry consciousness far beyond humans, even possessing superhuman intelligence. On the other hand, some AI experts warn that if people don't have controls, the explosive development of technology that could threaten to humanity itself, especially in the field of weapons. Stop for a moment and let's take a look. The nature of what's called artificial intelligence. The nature of artificial intelligence, or AI. It's the computer software that's been developed to simulate cognitive functions from the human brain. For example, face recognition, solve the problem, natural language processing, big data analytics. You can see on the positive side, of course, the most advanced general AI software available today, like GPT Chat or AlphaFold, always help the productivity of each person up many times, and it's even helped us solve problems that before seemed impossible. However, along with that, the rapid development that AI brings will also pose many potential risks to national security. It's even fundamentally changing the way nations interact with each other in both peacetime and wartime. First, AI and the problem of nuclear deterrence. Have you seen this movie? If not, this is Robert Oppenheimer. He and other scientists from the Manhattan Project, who built the atomic balloon in 1945. It was then used by the United States as a weapon of mass destruction, as they dropped 2 bombs on Hiroshima in turn and Nagasaki. That forced the Japanese Empire to surrender, to end the greatest war in human history. Since then, the world has held its breath. Worry about your fragile destiny when the nuclear powers to the brink of war. October 1962, the United States discovered the Soviet Union transferred a large amount. Missiles carrying nuclear warheads to Cuba, an island nation just off the southernmost point of Florida. More than 100 kilometers. The United States immediately pressured the Soviet Union to withdraw all nuclear missiles from Cuba. But action from both the Soviet Union and the United States has sparked a civil war crisis, unsung diplomacy. At that time, no one knows what the end will be. If one of the two, or both superpowers have the wrong calculations. Historical documents record the contents. Meetings between US President John Kennedy with military advisors in those fateful 13 days. The 5 advisors advised Kennedy to take tough military action against Cuba and the Soviet Union, even by landing the army, or conduct an air bombing campaign. But in the end, the war didn't happen because no one else did. Top leaders in both superpowers understand that a single wrong decision can spark a nuclear showdown. Enough to destroy the entire world. End of life on this earth. Many international scholars, especially in the United Kingdom and the United States, have long regarded nuclear deterrence as one of the most important secrets to break out between great powers. The logic behind this strategy of deterrence is that no country or rational leader should actively use nuclear weapons to strike in another country. If you know that the enemy will respond with nuclear weapons, because the consequences are the destruction of both. In other words, nuclear deterrence prevents conflict. The principle of the dead God is dead. But all this talk about nuclear weapons just now, what does this have to do with artificial intelligence? Nuclear weapons with tremendous destructive power can be a tool to prevent a great war between great powers, if no one is confident that they can win a nuclear war. But AI can change that, and gradually convince people that they are able to defeat the enemy before they can fight back. First of all, AI could dramatically enhance one country's ability to track and monitor another's nuclear weapons. Intelligent AI algorithms that can quickly process a huge amount of data. That's what analysts can't do. It's filtering out countless important signals that allow us to analyze satellite imagery and other intelligence tools to pinpoint the exact coordinates of a secret nuclear weapons silo, or a force of nuclear-armed submarines diving deep into the sea, or nuclear missile carriers that are constantly moving in difficult geographic areas. This would allow a country to launch a preemptive strike while eliminating an enemy's entire nuclear arsenal. It means that they could use nuclear weapons to attack without fear of retribution. Moreover, AI can make missile shields operate many times more efficiently than they currently do. Although this may seem to help cement peace, in fact, it is likely that the results will be quite the opposite. Once missile defense systems are equipped with state-of-the-art AI technology, they'll be able to identify threats faster, sooner, more accurately. They also have the ability to more accurately distinguish between real nuclear-tipped missiles and decoy missiles. In other words, the nuclear powers that are strong in AI are likely to dominate significantly in both attack and defense. It allows them to improve their ability to eliminate the enemy's nuclear arsenal while allowing them to defend more effectively against counterattacks. If so, at least in theory, outstanding developments in AI technology that would raise the probability that a country active use of nuclear weapons to preemptively attack another country, an action that could open Pandora's box, has unpredictable consequences that no one knows about. In this regard, AI can make the international environment more uncertain. It undermines global security. That's just the power of AI, under human supervision. But artificial intelligence, along with self-learning, self-analysis, super horrible synthesis, in the near future, is it safe or not? When we can be completely self-control of defense, global nuclear attack? The answer must be that all of us know. Even though AI has the potential to raise the risk of nuclear conflict, but paradoxically, it can help prevent war from happening. Indeed, AI technology does this primarily because it can help countries more accurately assess the force correlation between the two sides and the most likely scenario if war breaks out. Some countries are reluctant to go to war because they cannot resolve their differences through peace negotiations. And one of the main reasons that countries don't reach a benefit-sharing agreement through negotiation is that they don't know for sure who's going to win a conflict. In other words, leaders will sometimes choose war over negotiation because they believe they can achieve a quick victory and little loss on the battlefield, thereby achieving the benefit without compromising on the enemy. AI with the ability to process information quickly, more completely objective than humans, which is heavily influenced by prejudice. The same psychological blind spot will help the parties to the dispute predict the outcome of a war, potential earlier and more accurately, so avoid having to fight to know who will win. AI will also prevent war by constant monitoring of the most politically active movements, military diplomacy of potential adversaries. In addition to analyzing the support or opposition of public opinion in the opposite country on social media, to assess the risk of armed conflict early on. Not only that, it can also help strategists, policymakers, quickly to build a variety of crisis scenarios in a significantly shorter period of time. That allows them to develop a variety of response methods, optimal remediation in any case. These functions will greatly reduce the advantage came from the surprise of countries intending to strike first. From there, they have to calculate a much higher salary if they intend to start a war. It is safe to say that a surprise attack like the one Japan has previously launched against Pearl Harbor is unlikely to happen in the future, because the intent to start a war is easily recognized early on, and the defense will be prepared. It should also be added that AI technology will not stop at assessment and analysis systems, because once the technology of robotics has developed at a level commensurate with today's AI technology, we're going to see the rise of an army of elite robots that can fight in remote areas without eating or sleeping. At the same time, there is no concern about relatives or family. The deployment of an army of robots with AI platforms. It could increase the risk of war because, first of all, it will greatly reduce human casualties, especially for countries that are sensitive to loss of life. For many Western democracies, the cost of work, military deployment, and the possibility of loss of life are key factors that they must consider when deciding to go to war. If a substantial portion of the military forces later by AI-driven systems, from autonomous drones to driverless ground vehicles, the likelihood of human casualties will be greatly reduced. The soldiers no longer have to appear directly on the battlefield, likely to lead to a false perception. A distancing from the reality of the consequences of war almost certainly increases the willingness to use the code. if loss of life in conflict is completely eliminated or substantially reduced. The public can see war as a reasonable means of settling disputes or achieving diplomatic goals. That's one of the many reasons why war happens at a much higher rate than it did a century or a millennium ago. Where former kings saw soldiers as pawns on their chessboard and citizens who didn't have much of a say in how the state was run. On the contrary, the more people have the right to control, the government is listening more. The probability of war between nations is also lower. As the military is gradually replaced by robots, reducing human costs can reduce the political risk of conflict, thereby increasing the likelihood of countries resorting to force. Then, as AI is increasingly integrated into military and diplomatic frameworks, we're going to need a multidimensional approach, a way to take advantage of it, while minimizing the potential risks. And along with that comes a series of perplexities when all these new weapons are controlled by artificial intelligence. It's actually a slow-motion bomb. Just imagine how terrifying these transcendent fighting machines would be if they completely removed the psycho-emotional element. Will they one day be smart enough to realize their own importance and not be subject to human control? This is not merely a technical question, but a profound social challenge that requires thorough and comprehensive research to be able to come up with appropriate policies. So how in recent years have the world's leading powers developed weapons that apply artificial intelligence? The United States has been the world's #1 military superpower in recent years. We've been strategizing about the application of AI in all areas of the military, from intelligence gathering to air control in the military. The US has even experimented with AI to control the F-16 as a real pilot. Successfully apply the ability of artificial intelligence in fast processing a large amount of data collected to make the decision to attack the target at a speed that's probably somewhat faster than a trained pilot for years. In addition, the superpower also began to develop a lot of automated missile tracking systems. They have the ability to fire from the moment they leave the launch tank using data collected from satellites. Combined with the development of a massive fleet of unmanned aircraft capable of self-confidence and target destruction. Asia is not out of this game. China's giant fall is now also seen as possessing rapid leaps in AI applications. By investing billions of dollars a year in the technology of the future for decades, Chinese state media said that China pursues development of multiple weapons using AI, like a tank, submarine, fighter, ground attack, bomber, UAV. According to many experts, China's ambition is to become a world leader in AI technology and apply it or technology to develop equipment. Even recently, the South China Morning Post, according to information from Chinese military scientists, they've conducted an air combat test, a one-on-one fight between a pair of drones. These are two fixed-wing UAVs, one flown by an AI pilot, and the other one's manned from the ground. The test was conducted under combat conditions. The results show that AI pilots are capable of overcoming real-world combat, constantly overwhelm the human-controlled enemy. And of course, one evidence that the era of AI technology in combat is approaching is the developments in the Russian-Ukrainian war. They are important to change. Russian President Vladimir Putin has said that in the new era, whoever can master information technology and artificial intelligence will be the dominant force and power in the world. The development of driverless technology in recent years has led some experts to argue that the longer the war lasts, the more likely the devices are to be. They will identify themselves, lock and attack the target without any human support. Russia is working on a Uran-9 combat robot in Ukraine. The weapon looks like a tank with a 30mm gun, flamethrower, and 4 anti-tank missiles. In addition, the Russian army plans to develop some more powerful combat robots based on the T-72 and T-14 Armata tanks. These robots can carry heavy weapons and autonomously attack targets based on pre-programmed software. Russia also has ambitions to increase the automation of human-operated conventional weapons and equipment. For example, just like we're doing with F-16, Russia also developed AI features on the Su-57. It's called a virtual pilot, with a goal that would allow it to do most of its mission without a human pilot in the cockpit. Or like old-fashioned tanks that are also automated and remotely controlled. Currently, both Russia and Ukraine have a large fleet of unmanned aircraft up to thousands. They're showing power on the battlefield, when it's possible to destroy the most advanced heavy lift weapons, such as main battle tanks, warships, aircraft. Ukraine also has a suicide boat fleet, capable of strong self-attack, to threaten the advantage of the Russian fleet in the Black Sea region. In short, it can be said, artificial intelligence has had a profound impact on more than just the military sector, but also in the daily life of every human being. In the near future, major powers tend to continue to spend heavily in this area. It also involves efforts to control the very massive intellectual power that they have created. What do you think about this? Please leave your opinion below. We'll discuss it together. And now, 5 seconds Unfiltered goodbye, and see you in the next video.